Hello again and welcome to part 3 of riding around Launceston. As you can see in this video, I'm riding into more rural areas outside of the city of Greater Launceston, and you can see this road here is pretty well made. It has, I think, those rumble strips on the side, markings down the middle, the white posts are there on the edges of the road, and the road surface itself is in pretty good condition. Some of the other roads that I ride on in this particular clip are not in exactly the same, in as good a condition. They're narrower and they're rarely used roads that don't have a lot of traffic on them, so they're not as well maintained. Tasmania does have some good roads for motorcycling, but like everywhere else, it also has some roads that are not so good. So while we're enjoying the scenery and listening to the commentary here, have a look at the roads and see what you think about the condition. Now, in today's video I'm going to talk to you about social media and motorcycling. You might wonder how those two things are connected, but hopefully by the end of this video I will have made that connection for you. Now, to be clear, I'm not here to defend Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk or any of the other billionaires who run social media companies. I'm not here to discuss their politics or justify what they do in any way. Whether I agree or disagree with their politics is not relevant to this discussion. I'm talking about social media and how it, as a communication tool, and the impact it might have on motorcycling. Now, social media is, in my view, a good thing in many ways because it allows people like me to do exactly what I'm doing now. That is, make videos with a GoPro camera and a microphone and express my opinion on all sorts of things that I'm interested in, and you can either agree with those opinions, disagree with them, you can watch the video, you can ignore it, you can get 30 seconds in, you think this is a waste of time, but it doesn't prevent me from making them and expressing my point of view. Social media allows people who have similar interests all over the world to connect with each other. I have a grandson, for example, who's interested in dinosaurs, stop-motion animation and Jurassic Park movies, and he's able to make stop-motion animation videos of his own, and other people are able to enjoy them, people he's never met, but are able to give him feedback and comment on the quality of his videos and give him ideas and inspirations for future stories. It's a way for us to share things in our daily life with our friends and family who may be in other parts of this country. For example, I can be down here in Tasmania as I am at the moment. My children are on the mainland in either Victoria, New South Wales or Queensland, and they can see what I'm doing and I can see what they're doing by simply posting things. So it does have, in my view, some good uses, but that's not to say everything about it is perfect and great. Of course there are trolls, of course there are people who cyberstalk, and of course there are people who abuse and criticise and bully other people on social media. And as I think I observed in another video some time ago, I think those people would probably do those things no matter what. It's just that social media gives them a broader, wider platform to do it in, and also allows them to remain anonymous because they don't have to speak. They can use an avatar of some sort rather than use their actual name, and they don't have to speak to the person face to face. They just have to post some caustic comment about what somebody says or how they look or what you think their politics might be, rather than comment on the content that they've made. Of course, there are people who use platforms like this, that is YouTube or any of the other social media platforms, for all sorts of things that are unsavoury. There are influencers, there are people who have all sorts of opinions that I don't agree with, who say things that are not based on research or science, who just talk sometimes absolute nonsense, but they're able to impress impressionable young minds and help people form opinions that are not necessarily for their good or for anybody else's good. I can hear the free speech people now saying, well, it's an open platform, anyone should be able to use it providing they abide by whatever the rules are, and we should not censor free speech and so on. And maybe there's an argument for all of those things. I'm not here to talk about censorship, but I'm here to say that there are people who use social media as a way of spreading things that they know to be false, things that they know to be damaging to other people, and things that they can use to manipulate other people. Now, you're probably wondering what all this has got to do with motorcycling. Well, if you're a motorcyclist like me and you ride a motorcycle, you inevitably look at things that are about motorcycling. You look at clothing, you look at new models of motorcycling, you might even look on a place like Bike Sales. For those outside of Australia, that's a website where motorcycles are advertised for sale. You might look in places like that, or at dealerships, and see what bikes they have on offer. You probably do watch YouTube videos like this one, as well as other YouTube videos where people are actually test riding motorcycles or doing comparisons between motorcycles of similar size and design. For example, you might be looking at a YouTube video where someone has compared the BMW C650 GT with the Suzuki Bergman 650 Executive and see how those two compare with each other, or something like that. So if your interest is in motorcycling, or one of your interests is in motorcycling, you're going to be watching videos, you're going to be looking at social media posts, you're going to be taking notice of people like Kevin at MC Rider in Texas, who's going to give you information about riding safely, Jerry Palladino, who is a California-based, I think, instructor, and Coach Bob, and people like that who are American-based instructors in motorcycle riding. You may be going to be watching the Honda Advanced Riding Team in Australia when they're giving you tips on safe riding and so on. Now, while you're doing that, the mystical algorithm of Facebook and of YouTube works out, well, you like motorcycles, so we're going to send you lots more things about motorcycles. And almost inevitably, you are going to see some of those short clips, 10 seconds or less sometimes, that come from TikTok and other things like that, of people doing dumb and stupid things and dangerous things on motorcycles. Now, by that I mean you see people riding on public roads in traffic, pulling up the front wheel of their motorcycle and riding just on the back wheel, and then standing on the seat of their motor, or kneeling on the seat, or standing on the seat, wearing no protective gear. In some states in America where helmets are not required, not wearing a helmet, not wearing gloves. And for every 10 seconds of video that you see like that where somebody successfully pulls off the stunt, I'm sure there are 99 others where somebody does not successfully pull off the stunt and badly injures themselves, sometimes badly, possibly even catastrophically, where their bike is damaged, possibly even written off, or there are serious accidents and serious consequences. It's suggested by some, including Kevin at MC Rider, that one of the reasons people do these kinds of stunts and film them on public roads is because they can then post them to social media like this one, like YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or whatever, and somebody will give it a like or a thumbs up or whatever it is the appropriate way to say they show their approval of it, and the person performing the stunt will get some sort of publicity or feel good about themselves or whatever. In Australia, in some states, and I believe in New South Wales, there was a law proposed, I'm not sure if it was passed or not, but there was a law proposed that said if you post and boast, the police will track you down and fine you or prosecute you. So if you post videos of yourselves committing crimes of any sort, including traffic crimes and riding your motorcycle in a dangerous manner, and the police can work out who you are from your number plate or any other information like that, they will prosecute you. Now, the issue I have with these people doing these stunts is, first of all, whether you do that on a public road or you do it on a closed track, they're not really they're not entertaining to me. You can say, well, okay, just pass them by, and I do that as often as I can. I'm more interested in riding the motorcycle for what I'm doing now, for pleasure, to take me from where I am to where I want to go, for enjoyment. I want to get there safely, I want to get there comfortably, I want to get there using as little fuel as possible, and I want my ride to be enjoyable. I don't care about people who can ride a motorcycle on one wheel, because it's not meant to be ridden that way. I certainly don't want to see it on public roads. I don't want to see people doing it who are not wearing protective gear and not wearing helmets. And I certainly don't want to see people riding in packs doing it down highways and multi-lane highways where I'm in the next lane to them and I see this thing going past me. It's going to, at the very least, startle me and cause me to be surprised. At the worst, it may cause me to do something even sillier and either have an accident myself or lose concentration on what I'm doing, which is paying attention to the road, and maybe run into someone else in the lane next to me. It's certainly going to cause an unusual reaction in other people if you're riding down the road or driving in your car and suddenly whizzing past you at high speed is a motorcyclist who's on one wheel and standing up on the seat of their motorcycle. Now, the people who do these kind of things will say, well, it's my body, it's my right to do what I want. I can choose to do this if I want, and if I get injured, it's a risk I'm prepared to take. And I would argue against that on 2 points. First of all, when you get injured, you become a drain on the medical system wherever you are, whether it's in the United States, Europe, or Australia. Somebody has to pay for the medical bills for the injuries that you sustain to yourself. Those injuries, and those medical bills can be paid for out of the compulsory insurance, which in Australia we call green slip or CTP insurance. And because insurance companies want to spread the risk over lots of people, everybody's premium goes up because of idiots who do dumb things and injure themselves. So your right to do what you want with your own body has an impact on other people who are wearing protective gear, who are riding safely, who are doing the right thing, because their insurance premium goes up even though they've made no claim. If you're a person who insures your bike comprehensively, that is, so that if your bike is injured, damaged in an accident, it will be repaired rather than just you, the same thing applies. The insurance company wants to spread the risk over as many people as it possibly can, so everybody's premium goes up because people do dumb things and injure themselves, damage their motorcycles, and everybody's premium goes up to spread the risk. Now, you might look at it and say, well, I'm prepared to pay for those extra costs for myself. Other people might say, well, I'm not prepared to pay for those costs. I shouldn't have to bear the costs. I've ridden my motorcycle all year. I've not had any claims. I've not been pulled up by the police. I've not had any issues with traffic infringements or whatever, but I'm being slugged more insurance because some other person is riding in a dangerous manner and has injured themselves and wrecked their bike. Maybe none of that makes an impact on you. But let's imagine for a moment, let's assume for a moment that you being the person who wants to ride on one wheel and stand on the seat of their bike while they're doing it and lairize and show off. Showboating, I think the Americans call it, or trash talking. We call it lairizing in Australia, or hooning. Let's suppose you're one of those people that do that. Presumably you have people who care about you, parents, a partner, children, siblings and so on. Are you saying to them, well, I'm prepared to take the risk of myself being injured, possibly catastrophically, possibly even fatally, to exert my right to ride my motorcycle on one wheel with no helmet, no protective gear, and if I get injured, well, it's the price I pay. Your love for me and your concern for me is of so little value to me that I am prepared to injure myself, and even catastrophically, as I said, possibly fatally, rather than be concerned about how you might be feeling about it. So when your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, daughter, son says to you as you go out the door, ride safely, and we all say, I always do, you're going to say in your own mind, well, I'm just going to do what I normally do. I'm going to ride on one wheel at 100 kilometres an hour. I'm not going to wear my helmet. I'm not going to wear any gloves. And if I have an accident, well, too bad. So sad. And kids, loved one, daughter, partner, whatever, shrug your shoulders, it's just the price of things. So the connection between motorcycling and social media then is that the people who shoot these videos or take the video and then post it, you're exercising your right to put up whatever you want, certainly, and maybe you say, well, the platform should refuse to publish these things, or when they see them they should take them down. Or you can say, well, you don't have to watch them, you can just see what it is and bypass it. But the point is, I'm an old and mature enough person to say I can see your video and I see how dumb it is and I don't want to do that and I don't want to look at that and just pass it by. But some younger, more impressionable person looks at your video, then goes out on their own motorcycle and tries to do the same thing, and you might say, well, I practiced for hours to be able to perfect this stunt. That person's practiced for the 30 seconds it took them to watch your video, gone out and done it, and then maybe their police are calling on their parents at 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that, or maybe the ambulance is taking them to their morgue rather than the hospital. So you have some responsibility in there. So my final thoughts are, when you're riding a motorcycle, we've all signed up to an unwritten covenant that says we all want to go where we're going and get back to where we started from. We want to get there safely. You want to get out on your mission, whatever it is, riding wherever you want, just like I am now. You want to enjoy it, you want to have fun with your friends and so on, and you want to get home to your family, and so do I. So we've all agreed that there are a set of road rules, and for the most part, we abide by them and we obey them. We do that because that's the safest and most sensible thing to do. Some of us do it because we don't want to have any interactions with the police and we don't want to pay the fines, and those are just as valid reasons as doing it is because it's the right thing to do. But the covenant says to us, when you're riding a motorcycle, first of all, ride to the conditions. That is, ride to the weather conditions. Ride to the road conditions. If the weather's wet, you ride at a different speed than if it's dry and sunny. If it's night, you ride differently than if you would in the daytime. Ride to the road conditions. On roads like I'm riding on now that are nice and smooth, you've got lots of markings and the trees are well back from the road and there's a good shoulder and so on, you can approach the ride differently than if you were riding on some of the narrower roads that I was riding on a few moments ago. Ride to the capabilities of your bike, but don't extend them. You don't have to get on your bike and ride it to its maximum every single time you ride it. You're meant to ride to keep up with the traffic, and if you can't keep up with the traffic, or don't want to ride at the same speed as the rest of the traffic, move over and let it pass you, or make sure you ride in the slow lane if there are two lanes. Ride to the conditions. Ride to the capabilities of your bike. Ride to your actual capabilities, not the capabilities you think you have. Ride to the actual skill level that you have, not what you think you have. I'm old enough at nearly 72 to realise I'm not as skillful as I was when I was 32 or 42 or even 52. My reaction times are slower, I need more thinking time, so I ride differently than I would have ridden when I was 22, 32, 42, 52 or even 62. Alright, well thank you for watching, thank you for listening. If you have some thoughts and comments, then please make them in the usual places, and I will respond to them when I become aware of them. Enjoy your own ride, ride safely, keep two wheels on the road all the time, and I will talk to you when I'm making the next motorcycling video, which will be part 4 of this ride.